may have noticed that the title of this video is Failed. The original concept I was going for is a fail. I went ahead and pieced together all of the clips and everything to show you the process of making what I did. It was painful for me to watch, knowing the outcome of basically what was going to happen. Enjoy and stick around, and I'll talk a little bit more about what happened and how I fixed it, or what I ended up doing. Welcome to the shit show that is Failed Wartenberg Wheel. So stick around. This week we're making a Wartenberg wheel, and I put a picture of the Wartenberg wheel here, and this is generally what they look like, what they are. I'm doing something that's a little bit different because why the hell not? I'm making one with a plexiglass wheel. Yes, I know this is an 8-pointed star, but let me tell you something. I'm trying to figure out and make sure that it was symmetrical, trying to get the design laid out. Was able to make this, and it's pretty proportionate. There's actually 5 of them. I think I'm gonna make 2 of them with a single and 1 of them with a triple. And I'm gonna make the handle out of maple.
Curly maple.
So that's what this is. And see, it's curly maple because it says curly maple. And you cannot dispute that. It's September in Texas, and it's starting to feel so much better. So much better. So, let's get on to that. These are going to be washers. What was happening, this material's so thin that as the saw's working it, it's wanting to pull it down into that hole. It's also like wanting to fight back against it, and it was just creating a lot of extra tension on it. This piece that was right here ended up like snapping the corner of it. So what I need is, it's called a zero clearance insert, and what that is this hole that's around it actually comes right up to the blade. That way it helps prevent things from falling in. I just took this piece of scrap wood, fed it in, and then clamped it down so it didn't jump around or try to walk away. Or I have separation anxiety issues, and I don't want the piece of wood to leave me from this spot. Stay. Anyways, so this is essentially what a zero clearance would look like. Can you see that? Maybe when I zoom in you can see it, hopefully. I'm tethered to a microphone to the camera, and I sure as hell don't want to remove all of this just to get close up. If you can't see it, you're just shit out of luck. Sorry. I was able to go back in and finish all the cuts, and it stopped with that wonkiness or whatever. All the rest of them came out as expected. This may give me a fight. Thank God for fast forward and video editing, because I sure as hell wouldn't want to watch this whole process of trying to unscrew that bitch. And really, these are all going to be perfectly clear. They look kind of translucent because they have a protective plastic sheet on it. I know a lot of people really get off on the peeling plastic from electronics, and I'd be lying if I wasn't one of them. basically ready for the lathe. That's the lanyard hole. Those are just reinforcement pins, almost like pins on like knife scales. They go all the way through. I don't know if you can see one right there, and there's the other one. And then that is the pivot point. Look at me, I'm Godzilla. Well, the neighborhood kids is walking by and just looked at me like I'm a crazy man. So the goal is I'm going to turn this as a handle, but I'm going to stop it about here instead of here. And then I'll go back in with the bandsaw or something and cut it to where it's kind of like that. Measuring out all of these holes, getting the plugs in, measuring out those holes, getting them, making sure everything's straight and perfectly aligned. It was kind of a pain. So I didn't get any footage, but I'll go ahead and do a reenactment for you, and that way you can see basically what was involved with doing it. That's unfortunate. What happened was that the live center, or the tailstock center, had actually shifted over right onto that seam, and so when you're like clamping it down, it actually applied pressure because it's under a lot of tension when it's spinning and it's being held into place, and it split it. Where you can see that. Now, I tried kind of a quasi experiment on the cherry wood one, and it didn't work. Am I calling this project a bust? Oh, no. I'm not at that point yet. What I should have done is, instead of leaving this kind of exposed, this end, maybe what I should have done is just taken a piece of like scrap wood and adhered it onto the end. That way, when the center is applying force onto it, it's actually only applying force to this piece and not going to be causing any problems in splitting these. Like, I have no doubt about the adhesive or the lamination or anything, but it's just when there's, I don't even know how many hundreds of pounds of pressure are applied when the two centers are holding a piece in and it's spinning. But you know, it's one of those things where if I put a piece on here, it can actually, I can turn the whole thing, it'll be safe, and then I can end up cutting off this piece and still leaving this exposed as the final project. I do have one left. I do have one left that I haven't done anything to yet. So I'm actually going to take a piece of wood a little bit thicker than this. This was just what was nearest at hand. Adhere it on there and then try it again. I really like this concept of the plexiglass laminate between the wood, so we're going to do that.
problem solving, troubleshooting your issues. That's the beauty of what we do.
I can turn the whole thing, it'll be safe. Like, I have no doubt about the adhesive or the lamination. Oh, that guy. Well, that sucked. Trust me, I didn't get any footage of my utter and complete disappointment. Basically what happened, when I cut the pieces down and I used the adhesive, laminated to the 2 pieces of wood, I didn't score the plexiglass. That was definitely an oversight on my end, because usually you'll want to at least take some type of sandpaper or something and rough up the edge. That way the adhesive has something to bite onto, because when they separated, the wood was still intact, the plexiglass was still intact, but all the 2-part epoxy was adhered to the wood, but none of it was on the plexiglass. My buddy Kink Custom, who was like, well, why didn't you just do resin, do the whole thing? And I was trying to stick with a theme, since the wheel is that same plexiglass material. I wanted the insert, and it looked really cool. And even as I started turning it, before they started failing, like I could start seeing like it was gonna look pretty amazing. Being an artist, a crafter, a creator, you're going to end up with a project that just hits a wall and crumbles. The main takeaway is that you should never give up. Don't let that setback put you off your game. Sometimes you need to just walk away, take a deep breath, and then reassess the situation and come back at it with a fresh start. I can't tell you how many times I've had projects that just failed. Something massive happened. You know, had I let that get to me back in the day, then I would never have gotten to where I am now. The only way you get better at anything is try and fail. Try and fail. You will hit it. That old try till you succeed. There's a lot of truth in that statement. Having something you have meticulously planned for basically go awry, it's not the end of the world. I actually ended up saying, all right, I realized where I made a mistake with this. I do believe it can work, but there's some other steps I should have taken. So I basically got the wood, recut them to shape, glued them up and laminated them. I didn't do the plexiglass this time. I took the Peduic, made a blank out of the Peduic. I bought some maple. It's not curly maple, but it's I guess basic maple. And then I had some like excess cutoffs, and I did one that's an oak and cherry mix, which that one I'll probably release a little video next week, because I showed Miss Penguin how to turn a handle. We kind of walked through some of the steps. May just post that as a short next week. Look forward to that. And the way you'll find out is if you subscribe, like, comment, hit the bell notification, do all the things, follow us on all the stuff, show us some love. As of the recording of this monologue, I didn't have a long enough post for the Peduic one, because the Peduic was going to be the triple wheel, so I need to run and get it, but I will put a picture of it right here, that way you can see it, see the end results. But I do have the other 2 that are finished. This is the maple. Penguinafterdark there, man. And this one will be up on our website, penguinafterdark.com. This is the one that Miss Penguin learned to turn. This side is the cherry, and that's the oak. This one's not for sale. When we were checking out the response for using these, Miss Penguin was like, we have to have one. I actually burned into. And that's one that we're keeping. Thank you for sticking around to the end. Sometimes a project goes south, goes awry. Don't let it get you down. Keep trying. You will get it. You will get it. You will figure it out. I promise you.